Hi everyone, I'm Shaylin with Reedsy, and today we're going to be talking about sensitivity readers. So a couple weeks ago we talked about beta readers, and you can check out that video in the cards if you want to know more about that. But today we're going to be talking about sensitivity readers. Sensitivity readers are kind of like specifically focused beta readers. They read unpublished manuscripts to help spot cultural inaccuracies, representation issues, biases, stereotypes, or problematic language. Now they aren't new to the publishing landscape, but they have become more and more prominent over the past few years, and more books are going through sensitivity reads before they hit the shelves. The goal of a sensitivity reader is to help guide the author away from one-dimensional or stereotypical portrayals of diverse characters and help create more nuanced characters as well as get all their facts right. Essentially, they help authors spot issues in places where the author might have a blind spot because of their lack of personal experience. So why should you work with a sensitivity reader? Some people see sensitivity readers as a form of censorship. Sensitivity reading is much more so a form of editing. They're not here to police your writing. They're here to help you create richer characters by identifying places where you've written a character stereotypically or inaccurately. And it's kind of hard to argue with the fact that good nuanced characters equals better writing. In order to write a character whose experience does not align with your own personal lived experience, a second opinion can be incredibly valuable. Say you're writing a character from a different cultural background than yourself. You might feel pretty good about it, you might feel like you've done your research and your character is well developed, so you must be fine. But a sensitivity reader can help you identify areas that you might have just completely missed. They never came up in your research, you never even knew that you should have had to consider this. Many writers are striving to include more diversity in their work, but doing so well is differently than just doing so. And that's where sensitivity readers can be invaluable. So how do sensitivity readers work? Well, it's kind of similar to working with a professional editor. A sensitivity reader will do a very careful read of your manuscript to identify things like biases, stereotypes, misinformation, or problematic language. Just like when working with an editor, the author has final say with everything they want to implement and if they want to implement these changes. But also, just like when working with an editor, it can kind of defeat the point if you work with a sensitivity reader and then don't take any of their feedback. So say you do want to work with a sensitivity reader. How do you find one? Now, sensitivity readers aren't like beta readers. Beta readers usually work unpaid. Sensitivity reading is a paid service. Now, if you're going the traditional publishing route, then you'll have to talk to your publisher and say that you want a sensitivity read as part of your editing, and they'll hire one for you. It's not something that traditionally published authors generally do before they query. It's something that will happen in the developmental editing stage and the editing stage when they're working with their publisher. And for self-published authors, just like with editing, you'll hire and find sensitivity readers yourself. Many freelance editors also work as sensitivity readers. So if you find a developmental editor you want to work with who also works as a sensitivity area in the specific area that you need, because sensitivity reading is not one size fits all. Sensitivity readers are going to have specific niches based on their own lived experience. One sensitivity reader isn't going to be able to read for, every specific cultural background, every specific identity. That's not possible for one human. So you'll have to find a sensitivity reader who's right for your book. Many freelance editors also do sensitivity reads. So you can find an editor and maybe by luck they'll also be doing a sensitivity read, or you might work with a separate sensitivity reader if you already have an editor lined up. Sensitivity reading isn't a replacement for editing though. Sensitivity readers aren't going to comment on things like the plot development or the writing. That's not what they do, unless they're also a professional editor. But if you're hiring someone just to do a sensitivity read, they're not going to read for all the technical elements of the writing. It's just a completely different thing. You might also have to work with a variety of sensitivity readers for your book. It kind of depends on your characters, what you're writing, and where your gaps in personal lived experiences are. So that's kind of the rundown on working with sensitivity readers. Let me know in the comments if you've ever worked with a sensitivity reader. Have you ever done sensitivity reading yourself? Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe for new writing, editing, and publishing videos every Tuesday and Friday. Until next time.